Suspicion is the heart of this whole regime, and the most misunderstood word in it. So let's make it precise. Suspicion isn't proof. It isn't certainty. It is a reasonable sense that something might not add up, formed honestly on what is in front of you. You don't need to be right. You need to notice and report. So what actually trips it? Rarely anything dramatic. It is small things that don't sit right. A cash amount that's larger than the deal needs. A customer who suddenly won't be identified. A payment quietly broken into smaller pieces. A rush that makes no sense. You are not proving a crime. You are noticing that something is off. The Act sets out exactly when a suspicious matter reporting obligation arises. It is tied to your designated service. Read the trigger in its own words. Once suspicion forms, a clock starts, and the Act sets it out in the same subsection. For most matters, 3 business days. Where it touches terrorism financing, 24 hours. The ellipsis there is a third clock, and we will come to it. So, 3 business days as the standard. 24 hours where terrorism financing is in the picture. Always know which one you're on. And in a moment, the third. First, the word that makes the third clock necessary. Privilege, legal professional privilege, is your client's right to keep their confidential legal advice private. It is theirs, not yours. You can't waive it for them. So when part of what you'd report is privileged, the Act can't just demand it. And that is exactly the gap the next rule fills. Now the third clock, and read it as the exception it is. Where part of what you'd report may be privileged, and the privilege belongs to your client rather than to you, the Act gives you 5 business days instead of 3. And where everything behind the suspicion is privileged, you may refuse to report at all. For most businesses, this will never come up. For a lawyer or conveyancer, one day it will, and the conditions are narrow, so read them. Picture the usual case. You filed a report on a buyer. A week later they call, annoyed that settlement is delayed, and ask you straight out if something's wrong. Every instinct says reassure them, but telling them, even hinting, that you've reported a suspicion is called tipping off. Say nothing about the report. Let it sit. That silence is part of the job. And there is a matching duty of silence. Once a suspicious matter report is in, or even required, telling the customer can be a criminal offence. Read what it turns on. A disclosure that would, or could reasonably be expected to, prejudice an investigation. It is not a blanket gag, and the section carries its own exceptions, but 2 years imprisonment is the measure of how seriously it is taken. And if this all feels heavy, look at the scale. In 2024 to 25, Australian businesses filed 452,951 suspicious matter reports, 19% more than the year before. Nearly 19,500 reporting entities took part. A report is not an accusation, and it is not rare. It is the system working thousands of times a day. That is suspicion precisely, a reasonable unease, not a verdict, reported on the right clock. Nothing more is asked of you, and nothing less. The Act protects what you do in good faith in complying with it. That is Section 235. What it does not protect is a suspicion you sat on. Notice. Report. Say nothing to the customer. And let AUSTRAC judge.